talking real loud, spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies love me, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda's swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies love me, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda's swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies love me, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda's swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen IranOpens show. I'm your host, Queen IranOpens, and this is your Daily Vitamins. Okay, so listen, I was sitting here reading right before the live started. I was sitting here reading, and I don't know if this is true or not, but you all, how many of you saw, please tell me this is all fake news. How many of you saw the Fox News report with the downed pilot speaking out? Once in the chat if you did. Once in the chat if you did. If you saw the news report of the downed pilot speaking out, please let me know, because I didn't see it. And I have several questions. Okay, I have several questions. Desmond, I don't see your email. Where'd you send it to? I don't see your email, honey. Can you resend it, please? Okay, so most of you didn't see it. Okay, well, I find something very interesting about it. Hold on, I'll get to that in a second. Desmond. I know, I'm looking at the regular email, the one that you sent everything to. I know, the one you emailed this morning. I don't see anything from you. Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, right? That's the email you sent it to? Yeah, I don't see anything. Hold on, beloveds. Desmond's holding me up, you guys. Hold on. Desmond, send it to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur email, please. Thank you. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in. Let's get ready to get into it. Before we do, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. Hello, Nessa G, Lillian X. Chris is here. All right, Soul Sister, Claudette, Cherokee Descendant Dale, Aqua Girl Rising. All right, let's get into it. Dervis, Red Wine Entertainment. All right, Michael, Emperor Rex. Didn't I just see Aquarius MC in here? I could have sworn I did. Queen of Her King. All right. Paul Parody is here. Okay, so shout out to everyone in the chat. G from the land, you and Desmond. Let me tell y'all something. A shout out to everyone tuned into the Queen, especially my moderators, because y'all know they be putting in work. Lillian X with her lovely dimples. Okay, and everyone tuned into the Queen. But listen, Desmond, I'm gonna need you and G from the land when you all come in the chat, beloveds. Okay, and this is not a dig. When you all come in the chat and you're greeting everybody, could you do me a favor? Could you put everybody's name in one swoop? So you don't have to make post after post after post because it looks like you're spamming the chat. Now, of course, I know you're not, but I'm just saying it's taking up a lot of out of the chat space. So if you could be so kind as to just make like a paragraph, perhaps, of all the people you want to mention. Okay, that would be great. That would be absolutely great. Hey, Byron. Dangerous, Buckhorse DC's nefarious self. Okay, so now with that being said, let's go to my sponsor at 12 Tribes, and then we'll get it started.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget, beloveds, you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And please don't forget that she sells beard oil. Okay, so Desmond, I got your email, but beloved, you sent me that email this morning and I literally discussed it. You sent me the email about Julius Malema being sentenced to 5 years. I talked about it. Now you're at work, so you may have been out of the chat when I did, but I definitely talked about it. And let me just add on this to what I said about it earlier. Julius Malema is one of the strongest speakers, most outspoken, and he doesn't play any games and he's no holds barred. So in my opinion, they're likely doing this just to try to silence him. Now, of course, his team has immediately filed for an appeal, which I hope he wins. Okay? But I talked about that. That's right. That crazy bitch Eric said free Malema. Exactly. Okay, so now let's get down to business. Let's get down to business because what is Trump talking about? So most of you said you did not see. I know you were working, beloved. I figured it. Okay, so listen. So most of you say that you did not see the interview with Fox News with the downed pilot. Well, let me just show you all something that I thought was interesting because this is what I just saw. This is hilarious to me. Hold on, I gotta pull this up. Now take a look. See, I'm gonna share my screen because is Trump serious? I hope this is a joke or fake news. Okay, so listen, it says downed U.S. pilot interviewed by Fox. Now, someone posted this to Facebook 22 hours ago. I also saw the same post on X. But here's what I thought was interesting. Because as they posted, this is the downed pilot right here. Now, I thought that the downed pilot was supposed to be a man by the name of Dude Bravo 44. That's the only name they gave. Okay, now I'm not sure. Maybe this is the one that was retrieved because there were supposedly two of them, according to the lies they told. I don't know. But here's what's interesting. Look at these comments. Now y'all have to see this because the comments say Isn't that the DoorDash McDonald's delivery driver? And then someone else says, is that the DoorDash pilot? Somebody said, Granny gets around. Somebody said, this is the pilot. And then they show her right here. This is the DoorDash lady, DoorDash grandma. So is this a joke? Somebody else says, this looks like DoorDash grandma. Somebody says she been busy. Somebody said she recovered enough to become DoorDash grandma. So, I don't know what's going on here. This is y'all's president, honey. I don't know what in the world is going on here. So anyway, let's get down to business. And also, they say that China has come out and said, and I don't know if this is true or not, but it's posted on X, says, wow, now that would be a great move. China releases the Epstein files, freeing the world of its tyranny and exploitation. They said, China, do it. And then there's a bunch of other people in the comments saying, do it, and all of this. Now, does China really have the Epstein files? And then I saw someone else, Onita News, they had a video that I haven't watched, but I saw the title. It said China has proof that Trump R-worded a 13-year-old girl. Please tell me this is true. Oh, please let it be. Okay, so I find it interesting. Now, here we have a video. Hold on, let me see what this man's talking about on here. I hope it's in English. Hey, Bronze Flat Power God, beloved. Mr. Midnight Decipher is in the virtual building. Okay, let's go to this. Let's see what they're talking about. He's probably not speaking English. We may not even know what he's saying. Hold on.
And allow me to make one point. I think it is right now the high time to expunge the evil as represented by Jeffrey Epstein and whoever who is with him. Now, this is a very important point. I do not want to go into further details. I think the evil as represented by Jeffrey Epstein need to be fully expunged in the world, including in the relations between Israel and the United States.
Does China have the files?
Well, eventually everything needs to come out to the sun. Let's wait.
Okay, I like that kind of strategic ambiguity.
Okay, that's not telling us anything. That's not telling us anything. I mean, they didn't say anything about it in that. So I don't know. People just be putting out stuff. Okay, so don't get our hopes up. But here's the thing. I was going to talk about the Epstein stuff tonight. I'm not coming back after this. I have stuff to do. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay, we'll have to talk about that tomorrow. I will be live tomorrow about 12 o'clock. Now, with that all been said, let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. First of all, the Strait of Hormuz is opened, all right, according to Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. But hold on, let's go to some of Trump's social media posts. No. Let's stop right here. Before we get into the war stuff, let's talk about Trump hiring this black CDC director. Let's talk about that, because I'm going to tell y'all right now, Trump has something up his sleeve. And I'm about to tell y'all what it is. Okay, Trump's not fooling me. He definitely has something up his sleeve, and I have proof. Okay, I have the receipts. Hold on, I'm cueing this video. Trump nominates Dr. Erica Schwartz as new CDC director. And he clearly has stabbed Robert RFK Jr. in the back, because he's against the venom. This lady's all for it. She spent her entire career promoting it. Okay? So I'm going to share my screen. Lillian X, it ain't no good intentions behind it. Absolutely not. It absolutely is not.
Alexandra Gold
And now on to our reporting of new faces at the CDC ahead of midterms. President Donald Trump nominating new CDC leadership today, posting this to Truth Social saying, quote, I am pleased to announce the new leadership of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It is my honor to nominate the incredibly talented Dr. Erica Schwartz as my director of the CDC. Erica graduated from Brown University for college and medical school and served as a distinguished career as a doctor of medicine in the United States military, the greatest and most powerful force in the world, and then served as my deputy surgeon during my first term. She's a star. I'm also pleased to announce the appointment of Sean Slavinsky as the CDC deputy director and chief operating officer, Dr. Jennifer Shuford as the CDC deputy director and chief medical officer, and Dr. Sarah Brenner as senior counselor for public health to Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Now, to break this all down for me is Lena Sun from the Washington Post here, national health reporter. Hey, Lena, good evening.
Hi.
So let's start with Dr. Erica Schwartz. What do we know about her and the team nominated alongside her?
Erica Schwartz has a distinguished career serving in the U.S. military. She was the Coast Guard Chief Medical Officer. Then she served as Deputy Surgeon General in Trump's first term. And she has received great praise from both Republicans and Democrats who worked with her because she served in the first Trump administration, was part of the COVID response, and she was great. And many former Trump officials have come out to say what a terrific pick.
I'm sure they didn't because they're against DEI. And I'm quite sure they deem her as a DEI hire. Okay, I don't believe a word of it. And I'm going to tell you why Trump really hired this lady. Now, I told you all yesterday when someone asked me in the chat if I had heard about this, and I said yes. And I said, Trump's only doing this for midterms. But oh no, he's not only doing it for midterms. There's a bigger reason behind it. President Donald Trump on Thursday nominated Erica Schwartz to serve as director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, concluding a months-long effort to choose a permanent leader of the embattled health agency. Schwartz will have to be confirmed by the Senate, would take over the role as Health and Human Services Secretary. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. oversees a string of controversial health policies changes at the agency, including an overhaul of childhood venom recommendations. Okay, now let's get into why he really did all this. Okay, it's a whole load of BS. Trust me when I tell you. The reason Trump did this, beloveds, where do you find out? I'm about to put this up on the screen. This is exactly why Trump did this. Okay, he's not slick. He's not slick at all. In fact, he's very stupid and ignorant as far as I'm concerned. He's a whole damn fool. No, y'all see this? Trump sued for firing most of the Black officials in government. Now, this came out April the 15th, which was Wednesday. And then he makes this announcement about the Black CDC director on yesterday. Do y'all see it? That's why he did it, because his arse is getting sued. Okay? Because his arse is getting sued. So now he's trying to counter that he's been sued by these Black officials whom he fired every last one. He's trying to hire this woman who also has a military background, mind you. He's trying to cover it all up and act like, oh, I'm not racist. Oh, I didn't fire them because they're Black or because I thought they were DEI. But of course he did. And he's only using her as a pawn. Okay, and she's likely a raccoon, honey. I'm sorry. I absolutely believe it. So that all being said, let's talk about it. A Black former federal employee is suing the Trump administration, claiming he was fired because of his race. Alvin Brown, a Democratic member of the National Transportation Safety Board, nominated by President Biden, was fired from his post in May of 2025. Now, in his lawsuit filed in U.S. District Court on Tuesday, Tuesday, Brown said that political differences couldn't have been the main reason for his firing. Okay. Now, Brown's lawyers who work for the Democracy Forward Foundation also claimed that 75% of Black officials at independent agencies have been fired under Trump. What if they all get together and decide to file a class action lawsuit? Okay, because that's probably what's coming next now that this guy's filed a lawsuit. That all being said, 75%, yeah, you're racist. You're not going to tell us that 75% of the Black officials were absolutely not qualified when you have someone like Keg's breath at the wheel. That's what you're not going to do. Mr. Brown's removal from the NTSB cannot be explained by the fact that Mr. Brown is a Democrat and Mr. Brown is a Democrat, and President Trump might have wanted to exert Republican control over the board, according to the lawsuit. Mr. Brown's removal cannot be explained. I think they meant can be explained by the fact that he's a Democrat and Trump wanted to exert Republican control on the board. Now, at the time of Mr. Brown's removal from NTSB, there were 2 other Democrats serving on the board. Oh, that's why. Okay, so they're right to say it cannot because they had other Democrats that didn't get fired. They just weren't Black. Now, since Brown's firing was racially motivated, the lawsuit alleges it therefore violated Mr. Brown's constitutional rights under the Fifth Amendment. The lawsuit also points to people of color being dismissed at agencies, including the National Labor Relations Board, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, otherwise known as the EEOC, the Federal Reserve, and the Library of Congress. The lawsuit cited Trump's attacks on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, and the fact that Brown's replacement, John D. Leyu, is white. They say President Trump has removed Black Senate-confirmed appointees. He has either nominated a non-Black individual for the replacement or has not formally replaced them at all. Now, this trend fits with President Trump's consistent messaging criticizing diversity and inclusion and his clear and demonstrable emphasis on hiring white people. Okay. Okay, what do you all have to say about this? Did you all know it was something shady? Hold on. Queen, Google the origin of the name Schwartz, as she is the Republican Kamala. Oh, yeah, I know that's definitely not a Black name. Isn't that a Jewish name? Hold on. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Hold on, beloveds. Y'all ready for it? It absolutely is a Jewish name. Schwartz is a German and Ashkenazi Jewish name, meaning black or dark, derived from the Middle High German Schwarz or the German Schwartz. Okay? Yeah, so she may have a Jewish husband, but nonetheless, Trump knows exactly what he's doing. Okay? He thinks he's so slick. I want you all to pay attention. This man's a whole devil. Mr. Midnight Decipher said, right down to the Chew husband. Okay, so I find it all interesting. Please pay attention. This is exactly what, oh my goodness, what did I just do? This is exactly what Trump has done. Okay, he thinks he's slick. He's doing this for 2 reasons, because he's been sued for one, and also because midterms are coming. Okay, he's not fooling anyone. And then he's also, like I said, he's also against diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so President Trump has removed Black Senate confirmed appointees. Okay, he has either nominated a non-Black for their replacement or has not replaced them at all. Now imagine that, firing someone who was definitely qualified only to not even replace them. This trend fits President Trump's consistent messaging, criticizing diversity and inclusion, and his clear, demonstrable emphasis on hiring white folk. Okay, a demonstrable emphasis of hiring white folk. And this is absolutely true. Specifically white people like Kexbreath who are not qualified. Okay, let's not leave that part out. So anyway, that's what this is all about. But hold on, there's more. Because did you all know that Trump had pictures made, AI-generated pictures, with some fake black folk? Hold on, let me pull this up. Now, I didn't even know this. I just happened across this today. This just came across my timeline when I was gathering receipts. Here it is. Because when I saw it, I'm thinking, all of these black folk just proud to be all coddled and grouped up around Trump. And then I said, oh, this is fake. Let me just show y'all. Trump supporters target black voters with faked AI images. How desperate are we, Trump? How desperate are we? And Miss Treese, thank you for being a member of the channel for 2 months, beloved. I appreciate you. Look at this. Y'all see it? Y'all see that? Hold on. Deronda said fraud today. Jay McClellan said it looks fake. Okay, that's what made me take a closer look. Because I'm like, these black folk look a little too damn happy to be all caught up around Trump. I am so done. And then that fake story about the downed pilot and this, it's just all given crazy. Okay, it's given crazy. Now, hold on. Let me read you what it says. Donald Trump supporters have been creating and sharing AI-generated fake images of black voters to encourage African Americans to vote Republican. Please miss us with it. Okay, BBC Panorama discovered dozens of deep fakes portraying black people as supporting the former president. Okay, Mr. Trump has openly courted black voters who were key to Joe Biden's election in his election win in 2020. Okay, but there's no evidence directly linking these images to Trump's campaign, please. Okay. Police. Someone in his campaign is likely the ones who did it. Now, the co-founder of Black Voters Matter, a group which encourages Black people to vote, said the manipulated images were pushing a strategic narrative designed to show Mr. Trump as popular in the Black community. Child, I'm so done. Okay, that's enough about that. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's continue. Trump is so ridiculous. He just cannot help himself. Let's go to some of his posts, as a matter of fact, from about the Strait of Hormuz. If Trump thinks that any black person with sense is going to vote for him, he could vote for the Republican spirit at midterms. Please miss us with it. Now, look at this. Iran has just announced that the Strait of Iran is fully open and ready for full passage. Thank you. Now, he called it the Strait of Iran, trying to be smart, clearly. Okay. That's what he was doing, trying to be smart. Then here's another post. Aquarius Rising said Black MAGA will vote for Trump. Honey, even they should have waken up at this point. Okay, we see even the MAGA that look like him. Some of them are waking up. I hope they're not that stupid. Okay, so this is what he posted as well. The Strait of Hormuz is completely open and ready for business and full passage, but the naval blockade will remain in full force and effect as it pertains to Iran, only until such time as our transaction with Iran is 100% complete. This process should go very quickly in that most of the points are already negotiated. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Okay, sit down somewhere, Trump. And I think that now Trump is all mad and butthurt and bit out of shape because people said that Trump has taken an L, okay? That he has not accomplished anything. Let's go to this next one. Yeah, you're right, Nene. Said Black MAGA has been very quiet. Oh, yeah, they have. I haven't seen them even posting any videos on TikTok or anything. Okay, Iran has agreed to never close the Strait of Hormuz again. It will no longer be used as a weapon against the world. President Donald J. Trump. I'm sure they didn't say that. And it was only used because of what he did. Now let's go to this clash report. Says the U.S. and Iran are in talks over a possible deal in which Washington would release about $20 billion in frozen Iranian funds in exchange for Iran giving up its enriched uranium stockpile. Negotiations have made progress, but key disagreements remain, including how the uranium would be handled and how long Iran would pause its nuclear program. Now, here's a post from the foreign minister of Iran, Abbas Araghchi. He says, in line with a ceasefire in Lebanon, because, supposedly there's a 10-day ceasefire in Lebanon, okay? And that, in my opinion, is just so that Netanyahu can gather up the interceptors and things that he needs, clearly, because I told you all he was running low. Okay, and he's still talking trash talk about they're not done with Lebanon and we're not done and we're going to take over and all this crazy stuff. Okay, so in line with the ceasefire in Lebanon, the passage for all commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of the ceasefire on the coordinated route as already announced by Ports and Maritime Organization of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Now that's what the foreign minister of Iran said. And then Midas Touch added, saying Iran's foreign minister says the Strait of Hormuz is open amid the Lebanon ceasefire with all commercial vessels allowed to transit via Iran's coordinated route designated by its Ports and Maritime Organization. Key word is commercial vessels. Okay, so that all been said, and let's go to a few of these videos. Oh, hold on. Let's go to this other clash report. Iran's conditions for ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. They say only commercial vessels are permitted, no military ships or cargo links to hostile countries. Ships must use routes designated by Iran. All transit must be coordinated with Iranian officials or authorities. This is a post from Ron Filipkowski. Or actually, he reposted what Ann Coulter posted, saying, yay, the strait was open before we began bombing Iran. The strait that was open before we began bombing Iran is open again. Everybody pretend this is a huge victory for Trump, so he'll end this catastrophe. Yeah, that's really what we should start doing. Just, tickling his fancy, so he'll just cut this whole thing quick, cut it short. Because as long as Trump keeps taking L's and we keep clowning him about it, he'll just keep trying to, flex and act like he's doing something. Now, here is a post from Trump that says, thank you to Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar for your great bravery and help, President Donald J. Trump. He also said, now that the Hormuz Strait situation is over, I received a call from NATO asking if we need some help. I told them to stay away unless they just want to load up their ships with oil. They were useless when needed. A paper tiger, President DJT. I find it also interesting. Now, here's what someone posted. They say, I'm concerned that in this round, Iran will come out with the upper hand. It demonstrated not only its ability to threaten the Strait of Hormuz, which it effectively controls, but also its willingness to keep it closed under conditions aligned with its interests, while refusing to yield to U.S. demands. Only after pressure from President Trump on the Israeli prime minister and the subsequent ceasefire was the strait reopened in line with the commitments tied to that agreement. Well, of course, they said when Bibi stops bombing Lebanon, then they'll open it. So the takeaway from this episode is clear. Iran not only holds leverage over the Strait, but any future arrangement with Tehran will have to be credibly enforced. Otherwise, the Hormuz card can always and likely will be played. Iran is not entering the next round from a position of weakness. From Tehran's perspective, it may have made tactical concessions, since it is clear that even any closure of the strait in the coming weeks, given the volume of tanker traffic, would inflict significant pain on global markets. But strategically, it reinforced its core message. It sets the terms in this arena and will not accept dictates in its view from outside powers. And if is not real were to violate the ceasefire, the strait would likely close again. Well, of course it will. Of course it will, as it should. Okay, as it should. Now, that being said, let's go to this first video. This is China on the war and Hormuz. Okay, let's get into it. Now, this is from an hour ago. Y'all know I try to get the latest updates. Actually, 3 hours ago. Okay, here we go.
Russia voted against a draft resolution on the issue of the Strait of Hormuz at the Security Council. As a permanent member of the Security Council, China approaches every vote in the Council with a serious, conscientious, and responsible attitude, and always determines its voting position based on the merits of the issue itself and on whether the adoption of a resolution would genuinely contribute to resolving the issue and achieving peace. China attaches great importance to this draft resolution submitted by Bahrain on behalf of the Gulf states. We fully understand their major concerns. At the same time, the Security Council's actions should be aimed at de-escalation. They must not provide a veneer of legitimacy for unauthorized military operations or grant a license to the use of force, let alone further exacerbate tension and add fuel to the fire, thereby leading to an escalation of the conflict. In exercising its veto on this draft resolution, China has upheld international fairness and justice, defended the purposes and principles of the UN Charter, prevented the conflict from expanding further and the situation from escalating further, and created favorable conditions for achieving a temporary ceasefire and launching dialogue and negotiation. China's vote represents a choice responsible for peace and for the people of the region. It stands on the right side of history and will stand the test of history. President, China does not go along with Iran's attacks on Gulf states. China believes that the passage and safety of a strait used for international navigation should be safeguarded. We call on Iran to take proactive measures to restore normal navigation in the Strait of Hormuz at an early date. Meanwhile, the US's ramped-up military deployment and targeted blockade constitute a dangerous and irresponsible move. The issue of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz is a spillover effect of the conflict in Iran. Only a complete ceasefire can fundamentally create conditions for easing the situation. China welcomes the announcement by the relevant parties that a ceasefire agreement has been reached. We support all efforts conducive to ending the conflict. The US-Iran negotiation in Pakistan marks a step in the right direction toward de-escalation. The current situation has reached a critical juncture between war and peace, and a window of opportunity for peace is opening. The pressing priority is to prevent, by all means, a relapse in fighting and to maintain the momentum of the ceasefire negotiation that did not come easy. This serves the fundamental interests of the people in the region and meets the shared aspirations of the international community. The relevant parties should adhere to the ceasefire agreement.
Okay. I absolutely agree. They should stick to the terms of the ceasefire, but we already know that Netanyahu's not going to do it. I don't put anything past him. I don't put anything past him at all. Now, listen to this. Putin's most dangerous fighter jet for Iran. They say Russia rolls out new Su-35S fighters amid Gulf crisis. And this is from 2 hours ago. Let's get into it. Y'all, let me tell y'all something too. There is some shadow group. Listen, when I was gathering receipts for this broadcast, beloveds, there appears to be some shadow group that I never heard of, and that's what they call themselves, a shadow group. They come out of nowhere and say that anybody coming towards the strait better be watching all directions or something. We're going to get to that video because I don't know who these gangsters are, honey, but they had me scared. Please pay attention.
Russian aerospace industry has delivered another batch of Su-35S fighter jets to the Russian aerospace forces, continuing a steady push to expand production over the past several years. According to the United Aircraft Corporation, these aircraft have already completed full factory testing, undergone evaluation by Russian Defense Ministry pilots, and have now officially been transferred to their operational bases. The Su-35S, often described as a 4++ generation fighter, remains one of the core platforms in Russia's modern air fleet. UAC leadership emphasized that meeting state defense procurement targets is the company's top priority, with a strong focus on operational tactical aircraft. Officials also highlighted ongoing improvements in production efficiency as a key reason for maintaining delivery rates despite industrial pressure and global sanctions.
My feet are killing me.
The Su-35 is in service with multiple operators, including the Russian Aerospace Forces, China's People's Liberation Army Air Force, and Algeria, which has received a growing number of aircraft in recent years.
Okay, y'all saw that. Okay, they better look out. Now, with that being said, let's go to Professor Morandi. Okay, one of my favorites. And so he says Iran forced is not real into a ceasefire with Lebanon. Well, I know Netanyahu doesn't want to hear that. I know Netanyahu doesn't want to hear that. That's probably why he was talking trash, saying they're not done with Lebanon yet. But he still needs time to regroup and try to get those munitions and interceptors that he's lacking.
By Pakistan's army chief held talks with Iranian officials in Tehran in hopes of scheduling a second round of negotiations. U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth says if negotiations fail, the United States military is ready to resume combat operations. The United States is enforcing a naval blockade of all ships entering and leaving Iranian ports. So far, the Pentagon says it has turned back 13 ships. Joining us now from Tehran is Mohammad Morandi. He's a professor of English literature and Orientalism at the University of Tehran and traveled to Islamabad last week for the talks between Iran and the United States. Dr. Morandi, as always, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
I want to start with this latest development. The White House is announcing that there has been a ceasefire agreed between Lebanon and Israel. The ceasefire will last for 10 days. Now, this has been one of the primary conditions from the Iranians for there to be any kind of agreement with the United States on resolving this conflict. What do you make of this announcement by the White House and the fact that that ceasefire will, I mean, it's a deal that was done separately between the Lebanese leader, the president there, and the Israeli prime minister. So what do you make of it?
Well, in reality, it was done because of Iran's pressure and the fact that Iran refused to open the Strait of Hormuz for extra ships to pass through during the period of the ceasefire. The global economy is moving closer and closer to catastrophe. So they ultimately had to force the Israeli regime to accept the ceasefire. It was supposed to be enforced, come into place last night. Netanyahu once again resisted, but finally it is taking place, and it really has nothing to do with the Lebanese president or the prime minister. It is because of the leverage that Iran has through using the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, and do you have any faith that the ceasefire will hold? Because there have been previous ceasefires between Lebanon and Israel. And in one instance, Israel violated a ceasefire 10,000 times, according to the United Nations.
No, no one trusts the Israeli regime. They are constantly seeking crises. They've been doing this for decades, but especially during the last 2.5 years, Netanyahu has always sought further crises in order to maintain his rule. But Iran has a lot of leverage, and that is how this ceasefire finally came into effect. It was supposed to be a part of the broader ceasefire agreement. The Pakistani government said that it was. Trump later said it wasn't, but the fact that he continues to use Pakistan is a clear indication that Pakistan was not lying. And what the Iranians did is they said, okay, if you're not going to end the fighting, end the aggression, the genocidal attacks on Lebanon, then we're not going to let any of the ships that we promised to let through the Strait of Hormuz to move. And Iran waited and waited. And now, as the global crisis is getting more and more problematic for the Trump regime, they finally made that move and pushed the Israelis to end the fighting.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there because these videos are lengthy, so I'm not going to be showing all of them unless they're like under 5 minutes. Now, with that all being said, the Hormuz is open. This is the foreign minister, Iran's Arakchi, declares Strait of Hormuz open, snubbed Trump fires back with blockade. I told you, I think Trump's mad. He doesn't like that everybody's talking about him and calling him, you know, a loser, because that's exactly what he is. He needs to go ahead and take his L with pride.
Iran has announced the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz to commercial traffic, linking the move directly to the Lebanon ceasefire. The development signals a calibrated de-escalation, but on Tehran's terms. The strategic waterway, critical for global oil flows, is now declared operational under Iranian coordination.
The passage for all commercial vessels through Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of ceasefire on the coordinated route.
The announcement was quickly echoed by Washington. Donald Trump acknowledged that the strait is open and ready for full passage, marking a rare moment of convergence between the two sides.
The Strait of Hormuz is completely open and ready for business and full passage.
But beneath that alignment lies a stark contradiction. Even as the US recognizes the reopening, it is simultaneously sustaining a naval blockade targeting Iranian-linked shipping.
But the naval blockade will remain in full force and effect as it pertains to Iran only.
On the ground, the reality reflects enforcement, not openness. US forces under United States Central Command continue to intercept vessels, with multiple ships already turned back and no reported breaches of the blockade. The result is a dual narrative unfolding in the Gulf, an open strait in principle, but restricted in practice. As ceasefire diplomacy intersects with military pressure, the Strait of Hormuz remains at the center of a high-stakes geopolitical standoff.
that all being said, I just want to see how this is all going to pan out. If BB's going to break the ceasefire, which I absolutely expect him to do. But what I want to know is who is this group, honey, of which I speak? Who I told y'all, honey, they were talking so tough. I got scared, honey. I said, if they mean any of it, it's all bad. And unlike Trump, I'm taking them serious. Okay, let's get into it. Now, listen, here's what they said. They said, watch in all directions. Bab el-Mandeb next after the Hormuz crisis. Okay, so they give a warning. Now, let me just let you all hear what they said, because it's all nefarious.
A new choke point is heating up, and this time it's the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. Just hours after an IRGC-linked commander warned of a new phase of military tension, a shadowy group calling itself Warriors Without Borders issued a blunt message to global shipping. Starting tomorrow at noon, be more careful in all 6 directions than ever before. That's not a routine alert. It's a warning of attacks from everywhere, air, sea, and beyond. A signal that the rules of engagement may be shifting fast.
We kindly say that starting tomorrow at noon, anyone planning to pass through Bab al-Mandeb must be more careful in their 6 directions than ever before.
The pressure is already building in the Strait of Hormuz, the artery of global oil. Now fears are growing that the crisis is spreading, turning multiple maritime lifelines into high-risk zones. Isn't hiding the intent. Senior Commander Major General Ali Abdullahi Ali Abadi has warned that if US pressure continues, no trade route from the Persian Gulf to the Red Sea will remain untouched. And here's the twist. Iran doesn't even need direct access. Through the Houthi movement, it can strike indirectly. Drones, missiles, disruption, enough to choke global trade without firing a formal blockade.
Okay, so y'all heard that. Those people are not playing games. So they said you better be watching in all 6 directions. Honey, I thought there was only 4 directions, north, south, east, and west. Did y'all hear it? Honey, this is all nefarious, okay? They're going to be attacking from air, land, and sea if you do the wrong thing. Mr. Midnight Decipher said up and down. Okay, Sosa said I heard it. Okay, East Miss West said above and below, Queen. Okay, Nelson G said plus the sky and the sea. I'm scared. I don't know about them. But honey, I'd be somewhere hiding under a rock. Okay, please. You don't have to tell me twice is all I'm saying. Sosa said Iran's not playing. They really have the upper hand now. Bibi can try it, but it's not going to work. Okay, like sit down somewhere. And here's the thing. Let's just stop for a moment and think about all of the foolishness that has gone on with this administration. Okay, let's just think about how Iran played like fools Let's just talk about how Iran played them for the fools when they put down those decoys that they painted on the ground. Do you all remember that at the beginning of the war, early on? They painted decoys on the ground. The U.S. fell for it, fired at them, wasting millions of dollars in munitions and all of that, drones, missiles, you name it. And then we have Cag's breath with his foolish self, giving that Pulp Fiction prayer. Okay, not to mention all the foolish things that Trump has done. We don't even have time to go through the list. But for those of you who missed it, let's just go to it because I also want you all to see how they were praying at the White House. Y'all remember that, having prayer service and worship at the White House? I'm sorry, when have demons ever given prayer? Make it all make sense. I find it so interesting that Pete Cagsbreath quoted a scripture that isn't even real. It's from the movie Pulp Fiction, and it was quoted by Samuel L. Jackson. Now, I want you all to pay attention because isn't he supposed to be such a good and thorough Christian? Okay, let's get into it.
So the prayer is Caesar 25:17, and it reads, and pray with me, please. The path of the downed aviator is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of camaraderie and duty, shepherd the lost through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to capture and destroy my brother. And you will know my call sign is Sandy 1 when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Please pay attention. Okay, so this is also crazy because at the end of the day, how would this man be quoting the scripture if he was someone who truly read and knew the Bible? How would he not realize that this isn't a true scripture? Only the last line is even remotely close to the real scripture. Okay, please pay attention. Now, this all came from Quentin Tarantino and a man by the name of Jackson. They adapted it from a monologue in the 1976 martial arts film titled Karate Kiba. Like I said, only the final sentence resembles the true scripture. And the final part that says, and they shall know that I am the Lord when I shall lay my vengeance upon them. But all the rest of it is all cap. And look at them just having worship at the White House. Little do they know that Cagsbreath doesn't even know the scripture. Okay, please pay attention. And should we even be surprised? Because after all of the allegations and things that Cagsbreath has gotten involved in, such as the sexual misconduct allegations from 2017 through 2024, where he supposedly paid someone off. Okay. And then the veterans group mismanagement in 2024, or I'm sorry, prior to 2024, with reports indicating that Cagsbreath was forced out of his positions at Veterans for Freedom and Concerned Veterans for America following allegations of financial mismanagement and a toxic workplace environment. Okay. Which included allegations of sexual impropriety with female staffers, not to mention the intoxication accusations where he was so inebriated he had to be carried from one place to another. And then let us not forget about Signalgate in 2025. Okay. And now he's currently, they want to have him impeached. Okay. Impeachment articles. The House Democrats filed 6 articles of impeachment against Cagsbreath, alleging serious wrongdoing, including, the M word, okay, red rum, and conspiracy to red rum regarding military strikes in the Caribbean, along with withholding information from Congress regarding operations in Iran and Venezuela. Okay, please pay attention. This man is so nefarious. Please, somebody make it all make sense. Okay, so let me get. Hold on, I didn't mean to click that off, beloveds. Hold on, let me go back. I was just sitting here reading Iran's response to Trump calling it the Strait of Hormuz. Please pay attention. I'm going to show you all that in a second. Who's supposed to be a Christian nationalist who can't even quote exact scripture as it is in the Bible. And then we have Satan Yahoo at the will and the Antichrist who wants to imitate Jesus Christ. Okay, please tell me this isn't a recipe for disaster. Well, of course it is. Please pay attention. United States of America, citizens, we the people, we're all in trouble. Hello, everyone. We absolutely are. We absolutely are. It's a fact. Okay. Look who's at the wheel. Now, this is Iran's response to Trump calling it the Strait of Hormuz. They said bad mood equals Strait of Trump. Normal mood equals Strait of Hormuz. Good mood, Strait of Iran. Yeah. So they're saying Trump's in a good mood. Or at least he was, till he started getting called out. And people were posting about it and telling him that he was a whole loser. Okay. Now let's go to Keg's breath. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Hands on the trigger. That's what he said. Isn't he always saying that? Hands on the trigger. Iran IRGC threatens deadly strikes against U.S. Okay, and Bibi and them. And so let's get into it. I find it all so interesting. Okay, here we go.
The Iranian military has sent a chilling warning to the United States and Israel amid the ongoing fragile ceasefire that is ending in a few days. The Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, in a statement, said that their forces have their hands on the trigger. In a statement, the IRGC said, and I quote, "Both IRGC and the Iranian army have their hands on the trigger and are fully prepared to deliver a strong response to any hostile action by its adversaries." The IRGC added, "Iran's forces will undoubtedly deliver deadly strikes and severe blows to its enemies. Any confrontation would end in a humiliating and strategic defeat for its adversaries." The U.S. military has imposed a naval blockade of Iranian ports to stop any ship tied to Tehran or those suspected of carrying supplies that could help its government, from weapons to oil, metals, and electronics. Appears to be cashing in, moving millions of barrels of oil despite the crackdown.
The United States Navy controls the traffic going in and out of the strait.
The U.S. action is a blockade of Iran's ports and coastline, not a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz.
As Washington sends mixed signals about its maritime chokehold on Iran, Tehran appears to be cashing in, moving millions of barrels of oil despite the crackdown. New tracking data reveals that Iran has already shipped out around 9 million barrels of crude oil from floating storage in the Gulf of Oman since the U.S. naval blockade came into force on April 13th. And even before the crackdown began, another 2 million barrels left Iranian waters just a day earlier. In a direct attempt to squeeze Tehran's economic lifeline, the U.S. blockade announced following the collapse of talks with Iran is aimed at preventing ships from traveling to and from Iranian ports. The U.S. move reportedly aims to cut off roughly 2 million barrels per day of Iranian oil exports, most of which typically head to China. However, enforcement of this so-called blockade is proving difficult. While the U.S. claims some tankers have turned back, other reports say vessels are still pushing through. 2 U.S.-sanctioned supertankers entered the Gulf this week despite the blockade, while other vessels were reported to have turned back after approaching or crossing Hormuz, underscoring the uneven and still evolving enforcement picture. In fact, at least 11 vessels crossed the Strait of Hormuz in just the last 24 hours. And Iran appears to be adapting fast, using floating storage, alternative routes, and possibly shadow fleet transfers to keep oil flowing despite restrictions. Despite these reports of defiance, the U.S. defense chief continues to claim that the quote-unquote world-class blockade on Hormuz has choked Iran's energy flow, while warning the regime in Tehran to choose wisely.
This blockade, which the chairman will detail this morning, is the polite way that this can go. Your energy is not moving and will not move, and we can do this all day. The United States Navy controls the traffic going in and out of the strait because we have real assets and real capabilities. To Iran, choose wisely. The world watched, and so did you, as the U.S. military moved seamlessly from major combat operations to a world-class blockade. We can make that transition again, very quickly and even more powerfully than ever.
He just needs to give up hope, okay? I don't know who he's trying to impress. Okay, nobody's taking him serious. You're a lush, okay? You're highly incompetent and you're an sexual predator. Please, nobody's taking you serious except for fools. Now let's go to Mayor Zoran Kwame Mamdani, because he had a thing or two to say about this whole war. He was probably tipsy right then and there, for all we know. When is he not?
Country has spent now close to $30 billion on a war in multiple countries in the Middle East that has killed thousands of people, costing at least $500 million a day. The return on that is images of our country bombing girls' schools in Iran. The same amounts of money would be transformative for the lives of working class people across the city, across this country. The choice instead to invest that kind of money in war doesn't just speak of a complete abdication of our political, economic, and moral responsibilities. It also speaks to a choice that will itself exacerbate this cost of living crisis, and that we're seeing that already in this city. When we speak about taxing the rich, when we speak about what we want this city to be, it's a vision of a city where working class people can do more than struggle. Our country has spent now close to $30 billion on a war in multiple countries in the Middle East that has killed thousands of people, costing at least $500 million a day. The return on that is images of our country bombing girls' schools in Iran. The same amounts of money would be transformative for the lives of working class people across the city, across this country. The choice instead to invest that kind of money in war doesn't just speak of a complete abdication of our political, economic, and moral responsibilities. It also speaks to a choice that will itself exacerbate this cost of living crisis, and that we're seeing that already in this city. When we speak about taxing the rich, when we speak about what we want this city to be, it's a vision of a city where working class people can do more than struggle.
He's absolutely right. All of that money wasted on the war, if they really gave a darn about homeless people, the homeless crisis, specifically veterans who are homeless and disabled and all of that, they would have used that money for that. Okay, but they care more about destruction. I mean, how is it that BB gets to bomb all of these different countries? I just don't understand. Is the world that afraid of him? Because that's exactly what it looks like. Okay, that's exactly how is he allowed to commit genocide in Lebanon and Gaza? Please make it all make sense. Now, they can say that's not what it is, but our eyes are not deceiving us. Okay? Now, meanwhile, you have Michael Rappaport, who's you-ish, ish meaning like, okay, sitting here talking all this trash about them being the chosen people. So let's get into it, because they have the black people and the other skinned people going back and forth about who's really real. Okay, and I think we all know. So let's get into it. And of course, I'm going to use an overlay because I don't have permission to use this lady's video, but shout out to Esther Natukanda. Okay, let me put my overlay on here.
We, the Jewish people, are chosen. I know. A lot of people get upset when I say that.
I'm sorry, but does it look to be a Jew at all? I never seen a Jew so white like that. Where you coming from? When did Jews become so white as snow? Looking like the Queen of England is your mother. When did you become a Jew? Do you know that being a Jew is you have to be coming from Israel, and Israel is literally just 2 countries away from my country in Africa? See how black I am? Ain't no way 2 countries can make such a big difference for you to be so white like that.
I'm about to show you something extremely controversial. It's even illegal in the state of Israel to obtain this. And if you do obtain it, it's illegal to show it and or talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, my DNA. Now, I bet you thought it was going to be a lot crazier than that, right? Now, you might ask yourself, why is it illegal to obtain this in the state of Israel? Because it proves through your DNA that Jews around the world have no ancestral ties to the land of Israel.
We Jews have been in the land of Israel since the times of biblical Joshua.
Who is we? No, really, who is we? You live in Israel, so I don't expect you to be able to provide genetic or ancestral receipts for your claims about us Jews, because those kinds of receipts are illegal in Israel without a court order and other special permissions. The Jerusalem Post explains such a thing cannot exist as kits sold directly to the public, going on to say that they have possible effects on subjects and their families. Furthermore, the national implications of these tests could hold or affect, nice grammar, Jerusalem Post, could hold or affect with Israel being a government-recognized Jewish state. Don't you just love when they say the quiet parts out loud? But since they won't let you get receipts for us Jews, I brought my own. Wow. So I, an Ashkenazi, have no genetic or ancestral ties to the region of historic Palestine, and yet Israel still claims it's my homeland, which I could move to and become a citizen of under the ironically named Law of Return.
And now let me tell you all something. You see, this is why it is very important, people, that people do not disparage the Jewish community. Disparage Satan Yahoo all you want, because you actively have them coming out telling the truth. Okay, you have them coming out telling the truth. Okay, they're not liars and Decepticons. They're not ones trying to wage war and commit genocide. They're not the ones out here being nefarious. This is only Satan Yahoo, the IDF, and people with their mindset. Okay? And see, that's what I'm talking about. And this is why we should never categorize any group of people, because always there are good and bad people amongst every group. Because I see some people just going in on them, but it is not all of them. It is the ones with the mindset. It is the people like Satan Yahoo. Satan Yahoo is the one responsible for everything that's going on. He's in charge. He's the one at the wheel. Okay, when people want to talk about their angst and disdain, it should be always directed at him. And see, that's what Iran does. They direct everything at him because he is the devil himself. He and Trump. Okay, he and Trump. These people are coming out telling the truth.
Mizrahi Jews who were in the Islamic world, again, these are real Jews. The blue, these Ashkenazi Jews, they're not real Jews. They're converted, okay? This is something you're not to discuss at all, even though the evidence is so stark. The other issue with the
Okay, so there you have it, folks. I'm going to conclude the broadcast because I have somewhere to be. But listen, everyone, please like and share. I will see you all tomorrow at 12 noon. Okay, until then, beloveds, enjoy your weekend, not the strong end, keeping you in a weakened state of mind. I love you all to life. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, peace.
With that soul all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got